Yeah.
I have some kind of behind the scenes stuff that's pretty fun.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm going to kind of ask you it more in the form of questions.
Hit me with it, cuz.
Okay, Austin has 5 stages of defrosting at the beginning of the movie. I'm going to tell you the stages, but at random.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Cool. Try to put them back.
Okay.
We have reanimation.
Okay.
Evacuation, cleansing, laser cutting, and warm liquid goo phase.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah.
So there's...
We have reanimation,
Okay.
evacuation, cleansing, laser cutting, warm liquid goo phase.
I'm going to say laser cutting first.
Correct.
You said evacuation's one of them?
Yes. So you still have reanimation, evacuation, cleansing, and warm liquid goo phase.
I'm going to say warm liquid goo second.
Correct.
Okay. And then... reanimation third.
Yes.
Okay. What were the other two?
Evacuation and cleansing.
I'm going to say evacuation fourth.
Nope.
Damn! What was cleansing?
It's cleansing and then evacuation. So cleansing is when they're like scrubbing him with like the brushes.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
So it goes.
And then evacuation's when he pees.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it goes laser cutting, warm liquid goo phase, reanimation, cleansing, and then evacuation.
Gotcha.
30 to 40% of all of the lines were improvised.
Really?
Yeah.
Mostly by Mike Myers, I'm sure.
Yeah, because he plays like the 2 main characters. But one of the more prominent scenes that was improvised was the shush scene.
Really?
With Dr. Evil and
Yeah,
Scott.
shush.
That was a preemptive shush. I got a whole bag of shh with your name on it.
Yeah.
Austin Powers, the movie, marked the first time that Elizabeth Hurley, who is Vanessa, best known at the time as Hugh Grant's model girlfriend, proved she could carry the lead role in a movie. She found acting opposite Myers difficult for 2 reasons. First, his antics kept her on the verge of cracking up and breaking character, which is why Vanessa so seldom makes eye contact with Austin. And secondly, as she recalled in 99, I'm ludicrously tactile and Mike isn't at all. But because I was so obsessed with Austin, I used to torment Mike by squeezing, stroking, and petting him at every opportunity. When I see Mike now, I still launch massive physical attacks on him, which he flees for cover.
That's funny. Oh.
And she was, I don't think she really had many like roles, like major roles. I think she did some like small TV bits or some small movie roles, but she was like a hot model at the time.
Yeah.
And they like called her and was like, because Mike Myers was like, let's get the hottest person we can. And they called her. And then apparently Hugh Grant was like ecstatic that she got the call. He's like, Mike Myers is like the funniest guy right now.
Wow.
So, kind of cool.
When did Wayne's World come out?
That was before this. So
right.
Because that was like an SNL skit.
Yeah.
And then they did 2 movies. And then instead of doing a third Wayne's World, they did this.
Oh, is it the same team? Or is it just Mike Myers?
As far as I know.
Okay.
As far as I know, it's just Mike Myers.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Do you think Mike Myers used a bald cap for Dr. Evil, or do you think he shaved his head?
You know what? I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
During all his Dr. Evil scenes, because it looks so real.
It does.
And I feel like he's wearing a wig for Austin Powers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I'm going to say yes, he shaved his head.
Myers thinks that latex bald caps don't look authentic enough on the big screen, so he shaved his head to play Dr. Evil. That meant shooting all of his Austin scenes first.
What?
Then going back and shooting all of the Dr. Evil scenes. It was a process that became even more complicated with the sequels. because in the sequels he plays more characters. So for each movie he adds another character he plays. So I think that was his like real hair.
Really?
For the most part. I mean, I'm sure they added like the sideburns.
Yeah.
And then maybe some, but I think it was his hair.
That's cool. I thought it was a wig. Huh.
How much do you think it cost to make this film? This was in like what, 97 or something?
Mm-hmm. Parts of it seemed like they had a pretty big budget. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say $5 million.
16.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
So.
Yeah,
decent
that's pretty
sized
good.
budget. It earned back how much, do you think, in North America?
It was successful enough to have 2 more movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say 40 million.
53.9 million.
Nice. Good. Gosh, that's awesome.
So that made it a modest hit in theaters.
Okay.
Though popularity really took off on home video. So 2 years later, Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me would earn about 1 million more during its opening weekend than the first one did through its entire theatrical run.
Dang.
So it got really popular later.
Yeah.
And it made bank. How much do you think the entire franchise earned in theaters worldwide?
Worldwide.
All
Wow.
3 movies worldwide.
I'm gonna say, oh my gosh, 500 million.
676 million.
Dang. That's awesome.
Pretty good. Pretty damn good
Pretty
for
good
comedy.
for Mr. Powers.
Originally, Mike Myers didn't want to play the hero and the villain. He hoped to cast who as Dr. Evil? You want a hint?
Is it Arnold?
No. It was a popular comedian in like the mid late 90s.
Is it Billy Crystal?
No.
Robin Williams?
No. Younger.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He wanted Jim Carrey to play Dr. Evil. And he was interested, but he was unavailable because he was making Liar, Liar.
Huh.
So Dr. Evil is most noted for being modeled after Blofeld, the bad guy in James Bond.
Okay.
He has like the scar over his eye, he's bald, and he has like that gray tunic. But I think Mike Myers has like debunked this or like said it's not this, but that might just be diplomatic of him to say this, but the voice and gestures and even the pinky to the mouth were reportedly mimicry. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied.
Yeah.
The voice and gestures and the pinky to the mouth movement were reportedly mimicry of Myers' old Saturday Night Live boss, Lorne Michaels.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So Wayne's World co-star Dana Carvey was a little upset because the impressions were actually his own
They were Dana Carvey's impressions?
of Lorne Michaels, and Mike Myers used them.
Dang.
I don't know, little drama there.
Yeah.
Apparently, between takes, Mike is very serious and consumed and obsessive, detail-oriented, and a perfectionist. Mimi Rogers, who played Mrs. Kensington, the mother. But during the takes, when he's being Austin, it's very challenging to keep it together because he's hilarious. So it's cool to see how serious he takes this stuff, even though it's so goofy and so silly. Like in the end, like they're still making a movie and there's still like 16 million behind this, and they have like deadlines and productions, and all the while they're like just doing the stupidest shit. I don't know.
Nice.
Crazy environment.
Yeah. That's a feat to write and produce and star and direct this thing. Like,
He didn't direct it, but
yeah,
he was heavily involved for
Right.
sure. Like,
yeah. just cool.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So he's so talented.
He really is.
Just crazy.
I've always loved Mike Myers. And whenever I see him in anything, I'm just like, that guy just rocks. I love him in Inglourious.
I know. So good.
He was in Bohemian.
In the Globe.
Bars on the Globe. The bosses will be waiting for you.
There's a village called Nadine.
Bridges von Hammersmark.
Yes.
He was in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
As like the manager or whatever record deal guy that was like, Bohemian Rap, that song's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
That didn't like actually happen, but
it's funny.
They threw him in here because it's great.
Yeah.
Mike Myers.
According to, I believe, the director, what do you think were the 2 hardest scenes to shoot?
I'm going to say both of the nude scenes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, the last nude scene was the hardest, where it was both Vanessa and Austin. Yeah. The other one was the underground missile scene, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
He says that one was actually the second hardest because we shot that in a power plant, which we had been promised would be dormant because it was a backup plant for Los Angeles. Then on that weekend, there had been a brownout, and they had to kick that plant into action. The decibel level was so high, we were required to wear sound-blocking headphones. I directed everybody by screaming at them and using gestures. We would quickly take the headphones off the actors. It was such an unbelievable nightmare.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And then, the other was the Vanessa Austin nude scene. How many takes do you think that took?
I'm going to say 32.
Nice. 25. Took 25 takes to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's all like the behind the scenes stuff I could find, but